Alright, hopefully this will go through well. Hi, hey, my name's Esteban, welcome to my stream. This is going to be the first part of a video series I'm doing, called Let's Prototype a MOBA, using the Unreal Engine 4. So, couple things. I'm going to be making this kind of third person, a little after Paragon. I've been playing Paragon a lot and I like it. I've played League of Legends a little bit, and so I'm not very good at MOBAs, but I've researched them enough to I figure I could probably prototype one. The reason I'm not doing point and click is because I don't want to mess around with AI. I'm not that good at AI. Maybe by the end of this I'll be a lot better because it's still going to have to do with AI. So on the outset, I just want to get going a lot easier and not have to have you guys like fiddle around watching me trying to figure out how to make point actions work properly. So anyway, I'm just gonna dive in here. I'm using the latest as of this recording, which is 4.13. I'm gonna use this version throughout this series, regardless of if they launch 4.14 during this whole thing. I'm still gonna be using 4.13. So I'm gonna be using a third-person template. Oops. Let's see if I can spell MOBA. MOBA Proto. So, maximum quality starter content. Sure. So I'm gonna be, as I make this, I'm going to be just going up to the point where prototyping, and where I determine the stopping is kind of, that will be determined in the future. I have an idea, like I'm going to try to make it so that I have at least two heroes being able to face off against one another, level, the basic MOBA level, some spawns, basically the game type. I will use the Infinity Blade asset pack just so I can make it a little bit pretty, but I'm not going to be going into aesthetic that much. It's just going to be enough to have a presentable, kind of decent looking prototype, basically. So anyway, so for my first task here, I am going to, let's see. Well, I got my player, so well, let's do some housekeeping here first. First, I'm gonna make a new folder and call it content. Oops. Oh, I'm in there and I have no folders. I'm retarded. Anyway, I'm gonna have another folder in there called character. I'm going to steal theirs and call it my own. Call it MOBA character. I'm gonna move it to the MOBA content folder, move it into the character folder, and there we go. And I'm just gonna open this up. I'm gonna do so. This first part is gonna be some housekeeping. It's gonna be a little boring, so I apologize about that. But I'm just gonna erase the things I don't need, and then I'm actually, so that's their character. I'm going to put in mine. I'm gonna have it take possess player 0 as of right now, so that way we know that my character is in fact the one in there. What I'm gonna do, mess around with some materials real quick just so we can edit this. So I'm gonna make a material instance. So we make sure that it's an instance. Throw that into the character folder. And then that way what we can do here, I'm going to actually throw this on to my character. And now I'm just gonna give him a different color. Nice little sky blue-ish type of thing there, a little teal. So, okay, cool. So now, now that we know this is my character, I'm gonna do some more setup here. So I'm gonna make him. My goal for this video here is I want to make a tower. I want to be able to kill that tower, and I want the tower to be able to defend itself. I'm not gonna put. I'll make the character damageable, but I'm not gonna make him killable because I don't have a screen to go back to, and I want to make it for right now so that when you die, you go back to like a menu screen. I'm not gonna make that yet, so I'm not gonna make him be able to die, but he'll be able to take damage. So, I'm going to put a box collision here. The way this is going to work, I'm going to find a solution for this, I swear, later, is that, but basically, it's going to be a little messy, but, so, if whatever actor ends up in here, every time I press the attack command, whatever's in here is going to take damage. The way I'm going to do that is by generating overlap events, which is going to give us an error in the beginning. I'm going to ignore that error. You guys will see what I'm talking about here in just a second. So I'm going to connect that to the mesh so that it's attached there. And so I got him set up. So now I'm going to go back here. Whoops. That's the mannequin still. So we're in our folder here. So I'm going to make another folder here. Towers. This is with all the tower stuff. So the way I'm going to do my towers is going to be twofold. It's going to be the tower object itself, the little thing you're supposed to kill. All that's going to do is keep track of its own life. And then the second piece it's going to go with that, which is going to be a separate blueprint, is going to be the turret, which is going to have a sensor, which is going to be able to pick up attract the player and shoot at the player. The only thing, it's going to communicate with the tower object to make sure that the tower object's alive. If the tower object is not alive, then it's going to deactivate itself. So that's what I would like the behavior to be. You could make these both the same object. The reason I'm doing the tower object and the sensor and the turret separate, rather, is because for me it turns into sort of a pain having to do overlap event management, and I just don't want to deal with that. So tower base. Oh, come on. There we go. And so, okay. Empty actor. So what I want here is I want a shape. Oh, I wanted a pyramid. So the shapes that they give you access to on the outset don't include all of them. So I'm just going to reference one. I want a triangular pyramid is what I want. So if you just highlight it and then you can reference it here. Whoops. Tower mech. As opposed to mesh. So, and then what I want to do here is I want to rotate this 580, turn it upside down. and then I'm going to move this up a bit. Wait, kind of this prism-ish object. I'm gonna get this out of here. That's just another player start. Okay, so we don't need the shapes anymore. Tower, I'm gonna just throw the tower in here. So there's our tower. It's a little on the small side. So I'm going to, for this visual component, oh my gosh, 3. This visual component of it, which is this pyramid thingy, I want the player to be able to see it, so they know what to attack. That's good. That's good. Yeah, that's good. I don't really want that to have any collision. The player isn't. That's not the thing the player is going to be hitting. This is the thing the player is going to be hitting. Is the box. So, I'm just going to do this hit box. Hurt box, rather. Let's see. And it's going to collide with pawns. Okay, so that's going to give it something to hit as well as some collision. Yeah. Actually, I don't, you know what? I don't want box collision. I want a sphere collision. I want the player to be able to run around this thing fairly easily without them having to kind of. I don't want it to be boxy when they're running around it. I want them to be able to like run around it smoothly. Yeah, that feels a lot better. That way, like, they're not just hitting a wall and then, like, you know, jutting around it. And so, again, this is what the player is going to hit. So, no collision. I'm going to turn off overlap events for the triangle part. The triangle is just a visual part of it. And so, okay. This thing, not tick. So I don't like to use tick a whole lot. Like, I know that tick is very powerful, has its uses, and I want to preserve that as much as possible. So you're gonna see me using a lot of timers and stuff. Just if it doesn't, if I 100% don't have to use tick, I will not use tick for anything. So, so I'm gonna make it so that this thing can get hit, and it needs to have health. And so I'm going to set health to this should be switched around. It's going to be health minus whatever damage this is. Let's make it look a little presentable here. So whenever it takes damage, it's going to take whatever damage it's getting minus that from the health, and then set that the new health. And then I'm going to set a branch. I'm gonna get the health, and I'm going to see if it's less than or equal to 0, meaning if you're dead. Destroy actor. So, okay. I know I'm moving really fast. I'm not really meaning for this to be like a tutorial type of thing. I'm just wanting to kind of show how I would go about doing this, my design process for doing this. So right now I have a check. Actually, there's no like visual. I don't have a visual indicator right now for how I'm gonna spawn. Oh, wait, not an actor, not an actor. I'm gonna spawn a particle. Oops. It's gonna be the explosion. It's gonna be at the location. This might be a little too close to the ground. I change that in a second. But this should do damage once it works. So damage and death. Okay. That should be all I need for that for right now. That is blue. Now I need to, the character needs to be able to hit him, and actually I need to, let me get the tooltip thing out of the way. As a matter of fact, let me just clear, oops, not this, let me just clear that up here. I'm only going to use this map for like 1 or 2 episodes, and then it's going to go, because I'm going to be making my own. Oh yeah, housekeeping. I need to make the ability to attack. I don't need any VR stuff. I'm going to, whoops, attack. Right now I'm just gonna do like a melee type of attack. I'm not going, well, I'm sorry, I am going to put a projectile attack in there. Not in this episode though, because like there's gonna be characters that are gonna need projectile attacks, melee attacks, or both. So the character will be able to handle both eventually, but not in this episode. So right now it's just going to be a melee attack. So now that I have that, I can call it. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm gonna call this. This is the box that's in front of our character. I'm gonna call it the hit box. I have a better solution for this, but for right now, just so I can get this, just so I can say I got this going, I'm gonna kind of do it in a real weird way. I know everyone's gonna like scream at me for the way I'm doing this. It's terrible, but trust me, I'll fix it. Just let me have this right now. Let me do this. So the way this is gonna work, for those of you that are curious as to what I'm doing right now, when there is something in the box, an actor inside the box, that actor is going to get pushed into this variable, and then once I press attack, it's going to allow me to hit it. And then once it's not, I'm going to set this variable to be empty. That's going to give me an error. I believe if I I don't know, maybe we'll check this. If this doesn't work, basically when I stop overlapping, it should just set it to an empty variable. This may not work, but I'll try this. But I know I know without the reference there it works. Okay, so so this goes back to my tagging. You can't see as I'm gonna move this to the left a little bit here just so you can see. So on the right of the graph, with it selected, just go down here, this tag section. I'm going to call this enemy, and later on I'm going to have these tags just say red and blue. That way things are just checking whether something's red or something's blue, and that way they can know whether it's on their side or not. And so you'll see in just a second here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the current target. I'm going to ask, this is asking if it has a tag. What tag? Enemy. And then branch. And what, let's see. Let's see. Okay, so if it is an enemy, what I want it to do, I want it to apply damage. We're gonna say that this is 10 damage, and that reminds me, this is 0 health, so it would instantly get destroyed. So I'm going to put 100 health. Still a very weak tower, but should take 10 hits to kill it. And I am the damage causer. I am the one who knocks. So what I'm going to do eventually is that there's going to be damage types that I'm going to implement. So there's going to be like, critical hits, normal hits, launch hits that do different things as well as different damage. So, let's see here. I'm just going to print I hit something. So this should work. Okay. Wait. Should be in tower base. Let's see, health. I've got 100 health. Health is less than or equal to 0. Yeah, so after... Wait, was it even getting a... What happened? Why isn't this, It should be having a little explosion. Actually, let me see. 10 hits should also kill it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's not. What's happening? Let's find out. Apply damage isn't working. Why not? Why is that? Enemy. The tags are working. Right? I got a tag. So if the current target has tag enemy, that is true, we're gonna apply. Oh. I'm dumb. Noob mistake. First noob mistake. There's gonna be a few of those. It didn't know what it was damaging. Haha. There we go. Now it knows what it's damaging. Yeah, 10. Okay. And there's that lovely error, and that's because there's nothing in there. So, okay. Well, actually, so let me... Okay, yeah, so I'm well away from it, and it was still killing it, so I'm just gonna empty it. So basically, once it's overlapping something, it puts the target in. Once it stops overlapping, it empties it, and that's still going to give me an error because there's going to be an empty thing there. We will fix that later. I'm gonna bring this down here and put this there. Okay, make that just a little more presentable. Just a tad. Presentable. Okay. So we know that that's working. So I'm gonna put this all down here. Attacking. Make that red, or some form of red. That needs to be looked at again. I'll fix that later. Okay, so now we can destroy it and we can hit it. What I need to do is have the tower attack back before, but first, I'm gonna. Okay, whoops. Delete, yeah. Basic wall. I'm going to duplicate this. So I'm gonna make a custom material. I'm not very good at materials. So if I'm doing something really dumb, forgive me. I know not what I do. But this is just going to be very basic. I'm going to actually. I'm going to call this. I'm just going to make it translucent and glowy. Kind of crystalline type of thing. And actually, I'm going to make the color. I guess I don't have to. Screw it. I don't know what I'm doing, remember? I don't know what I'm doing. So this should be a 0 to 1 value, I believe. If I remember opacity correct, is it should be a 0 to 1. And so an emissive, I'm gonna do like 50. I'll do like 25 as a base. Yeah. So okay. Giving them a value, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make an instance and edit that instance like tutorials taught me to do, and so yeah, sure. Actually, so keep ourselves organized, shall we? Alright, cool. So, now that I have this instance, I can change these properties. So I'm going to change this to a red color for evil. I'm going to take this glowiness down. I'm going to make it transparent. About there, I think. Yeah. Let's make it a little more see-through. Let's up its transparent, or its glowiness. So okay, yeah, that's well, looks like something you should hit. Okay, so I'm gonna do one more thing. Because this is fun. And we are all about fun here. I'm going to make this thing float up and down. Oh, whoops. The way I'm gonna do that is with a timeline. vector, yeah, okay. So what this is gonna do is based off of this graph, this thing, oops, no, I'm gonna send that to 1. No, you know, 0.75, and this is gonna go up to 1. Based off of this graph, let's see. It's going to move on this spline, and let's see. We're gonna 0, so it's gonna move based off of this line, and it's controlling the z-axis. So it's gonna, on the z, it's going to move up 1, and then it's going to move down to -1, and then it's gonna go all the way back up to 0. I think this will work okay. Could be wrong, it could float off somewhere. But we'll see. And so, oops. I'm going to have this looping. And so that graph doesn't actually let me name that track. Z movement. So okay, Z movement is what that track is, and I'm going to have it let's see. Is it offset? Is it local offset I want? This might not. This might not be. Actually, that's the whole thing. Relative location. World location. I'm gonna do world location. So I'm gonna update that. So this should keep the sphere in place on the ground so that I can hit that and it's not moving that, but this should move the tower mesh. Oh, that's the setting. I'm dumb. I need to add it. I know what I'm doing. Okay. That's offset, I think. I think that's going like higher and higher. I think. Yeah, that thing is like rising. I just want to see how high, like, if it goes past the wall. Nah, no, it's going higher. Location? That might be going lower and lower into the ground. I think that actually is going to go in the ground. Yeah. It's going into the ground. Man, I just can't win. I just can't win. What am I doing wrong here? Is it just 2? 2.25? This is 2.25. So it goes up and then it goes down. It's going up and then it's going. Oh, you know what? That might be it. That might be. Have it going up 0.5 is what I want, and then 1, so it goes up 0.5 and then back down to 0, so it starts at 0, up 1, down. Okay. Let's see, if this doesn't work, then I'm just going to leave this be. Nope. Okay. If I go down to 1. Oops. -1. That goes down. Oh boy, I know, I'm wasting a lot of time with this. A lot of time. But, whoops. Oh, and then this has to be 1. Alright, I can't math apparently, so I'm not gonna do that. I'll come back to that later. That'll be a thing that I'll figure out in the notes. Is how to make that thing float. Anyway, okay, enough time wasted on that. I'm going to make the turret. So okay. The tower is going to be split into 2 pieces. The turret and the tower itself. The tower only responsibility is to live and die. The turret, however, is responsibility is to shoot at to get the player and shoot it. And the reason I'm dividing it up into 2 blueprints is because, for one, I can edit it a little better that way, and 2, like, it's not a nightmare trying to get overlap events to try and ignore and fire and make this a jumbled mess. I just want to make this 2 separate entities. So first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to make this thing pretty editable here. It's in and of itself. So there's going to be 2 pieces to this. It's gonna be a sphere. I'm gonna call this the sensor. I'm going to throw this at, whoa, I'm gonna actually throw this at like 80, just so you can see it for right now. And then I'm going to make the turret. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna make the turret. I'm going to attach this to the sensor, and then I'm going to get an arrow. Self-explain. The arrow is, let's point this out here. That's just, the arrow is going to be pointing forward, which lets me know where this cylinder is going to be pointing once I make it face the player. So, but what I'm going to do here first is on the construction script, I'm going to get the sensor. I'm going to make this sensor size editable. So I'm going to okay, and what I'm going to do here, tooltips. I'm a fan of tooltips. So, make this public. Okay, good. So what this allows me to do, I'm just going to pull this out here. I'm not sure what happened to my sensor. Hopefully. Oh. There it is. Okay. Whoops. 100. Okay. 100's a good base size. So okay. So anyway, so I got the sensor here. So what I can do now is I can grab the sensor radius and I can edit it to choose how big the area is that my sensor is going to take, and anywhere like around this turret where I want it to defend, because in Paragon and in some other cases they place the turret and the tower offset from each other, and so I wanted to give it so that this gives you the ability to do that. If you wanted to, you could put this dead set in the tower and make it so that the turret is the tower if you wanted to. I just wanted to give the freedom of editing that. So I'm going to leave this here, and then what I'm going to do, it's got to get the player. So first things first I've got to do is I'm going to give the player a tag again. I'm going to go down here to the right, go down to this little arrow, add a tag, call myself the player. Again, this will be changed so that whatever character you choose, it's just going to be red or blue, as opposed to player and enemy. So again, I'm going to change the tag to player. We're going to get this guy and make sure he is the player. So if there's something that walks in and it's the player or it's not the player, it's not going to do anything. So we're just making sure it is the player. So now we need it to look and shoot at you. So I don't like to use tick. I know tick is very powerful and a lot of people use tick liberally. I hate using tick if I don't actually have to. And there's going to be other instances where I can probably utilize tick a lot better. But in cases like this where I don't absolutely have to use tick, I won't. But what I do like to use are timers. Timers allow me to control time a little better. And if I get the same result, then I'm fine. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make two events, yeah. Tracking. And if somebody's out there and like knows that this is not as good, or this is even worse than using tick, let me know. But I don't know. I don't think this is worse than using tick. I feel like doing things at every frame is like the most taxing thing you can do. So, but anyway, okay. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna get the turret here, and then I'm going to find the look at rotation of the turret. First thing I need to do is get the world rotation of this, and then get the rotation of the target, or location rather of the target. So that's gonna measure from the turret to the target. It's going to get the point from the turret to the target, and then set it to look at that end point. So I need to set world rotation, I believe it is, to this. Okay, and then I got to time it. Let's put this to a timer. And then I'm gonna do 0.5. So every point, like once you're in there, every 0.5 seconds, the turret is going to update itself to look at you. It's going to be a little jerky, but design-wise, you're not going to be looking at the turret very often. So I don't feel like it's not that big of a deal. Your mileage may vary. Do what you want. I'm going to do it this way. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use end overlap here, and I'm going to clear this timer so that once you leave, this timer will no longer fire, because it'll still have you as the target. It's just that it won't fire after it ends. So but what was the tracking was what this was called. And so what should happen when I walk into that circle is that, oh, I got to make this arrow visible, that way you know. There we go. So when I walk into that circle, that arrow should be pointing to me every 0.5 seconds. It pointed to me. Oh, it's not looping. That should do it. There we go. There you go. It's following me more or less. like I said, it's a little jerky. I can make this time less and less and stuff. I don't need him to be following me at every frame. Yeah, that's a little better. This isn't even necessary for what I'm gonna, well, nah, I shouldn't say that. I do want this to be looking at me every 5 frames. So, okay, the next thing I want to do is I want him to shoot something at me. Let's go. Let's make a new. Projectiles are going to be its own thing. There's going to be like multiple projectiles in the game. So, first one's going to be this turret's projectile, which is probably going to end up being the base projectile. So, give me an actor. Actually, projectile base. So, okay. I'm gonna close some of this stuff. It's only gonna be interacting with the character in me. So, I am going to make this a sphere. Let's call it shot mesh. And what I think I'm gonna do, I'm gonna copy this tower material, or not copy, but make a material instance and do. Already emissive and transparent and glowy, and it's kind of got everything I need. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just going to change the color. Do it like a green. I have a green shot. And so I want to make this a projectile. Where is it? Projectile movement. Epic, you are awesome for just making this a thing. For just knowing that people wanted to make projectiles. So, good on you guys. Okay. Just gonna throw this in here. Whoops. I just want to see. Oh, okay. It goes. It's just, it has gravity. Okay. I'm just going to line this up with me so that it flies into me. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make this go faster. Oh boy. It's got collision. I forgot. Okay. Sphere collision. Damage cap. And that overlaps, and this should not have any collision whatsoever. Okay. There we go. So it can overlap, but it can't push me back. Okay. So what I want is I actually want this thing. Oops. I want this. Oh, 2,500. I think that is. It's a good number. Okay. Let's move your camera up a bit. That's not what I want. Cameras will definitely be, yeah, okay, I like that view a lot better. Cameras will be another video, another day. Okay, so okay, so what I also want, well, for one, this is going to check a tag again. Right now, this is just going to be player. Bleh, I cannot type. And whoops. If it is the player, I really need to start using the hotkey for branch, which is just B. So much easier. And if it is the player, we're gonna apply damage. We're gonna do 10. And then we're going to destroy it. Okay, so yeah, it hit me. Going to. We're gonna spawn the same emitter. So once I start working with the Infinity Blade assets, we'll have more particle emitters. Man. Okay, so it hits me. Now what I need to do is just in case actually let me check something on my tower or my turret real quick. The turret should have no collision and should not take any overlapping events, because it's going to spawn from that. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a timer. Event, say kill, or rather death, because if in the event, it's unlikely but possible, if the tower misses and the projectile keeps going on, I don't want it to go on forever. I want it to die at some point. I don't want it to just exist. I don't want it to exist forever, rather. I want it to have like a death point. Just to have a little bit of housekeeping there. After 5 seconds, if I didn't hit anything, I'm gonna destroy it. And that's only if it didn't hit anything. Most likely it is going to hit me. And that's great. Okay. So it's all well and good. But now that now that we got our projectile, I gotta, let's see. Okay. Now the player is not gonna be invincible. Let's see here. What's my time looking like? I'm good. I'm doing good on time. So, okay, almost done here. Whoops. So I'm going to... When I take damage... I'm going to say... Whoops. Yeah. Health minus damage can be exactly the same as the tower. Exact same. And then I'm going to set this new damage. And then I'm not going to kill him yet, remember. I'm just going to... Whoops. I'm going to append some things here. Give me a second. I'm just putting random strings together to form like a sentence. Player has left. So whoops. I'm putting these ampersands on there so that I can see. So it's going to say player has, going to pull the number and then health left. So it'll tell me like how much health I have left once it starts hitting me. Okay, and so last thing I need to make the turret do is fire. So at the same time, what does firing mean? It's going to spawn an actor. going to be the projectile base, and it's going to use the transform of the turret. So the turret's already facing me. It is just going to be using that value to shoot the turret at me. Let's see. It's my timer. I got 2 timers in a row. Oh yeah. Honestly, there's probably a better way, but this is mine that I'm kind of gonna use for this, and I'm gonna say every second, just cause like, yeah. And then I got a same thing here is like once, so I'm gonna clear both of them. So whoops. Save. So I'm clearing both timers once you exit. So this should do, once I go into the circle, he should start firing at me. What happened? Okay, but he stopped. Well, first off, let's widen this radius here just so I have some room to run around. Once he hits me, gotta both be looping. Hopefully that was it. No. Once it fires, as long as that's true, this should still be following me. Oh well, whatever. Okay, so at this point, I feel like we've gotten pretty far. Oh crap! One more thing. So this turret, I want to be able to edit and move. So what I'm going to do here is I'm also going to I'm gonna oops. Let's see. So so I'm going to make this editable basically inside the editor. So and then I'm going to do this, and so now what it should allow me to do, oh oops, nope, I didn't want the world to transform. Set relative transform, so it's relative to this new transform. Okay, so now what I can do, and then I'm going to show the widget. So what I can do now is, see, it's got a little, the turret itself, so like by turret itself, I can move it within the blueprint class, and I can just throw it anywhere I want now in the scene. So I can edit that, and then so you can set the sensor somewhere and then put the turret where it's going to be, and then like so see it's like guarding this side here. Still got to fix that tracking. I will work on that. But yeah, we have a tower, a player that can hit things, and a turret that can shoot and defend itself. I'm going to research why the tower is not tracking. It totally should. I did this in another project. But I'm going to come back next time. We're going to look at getting some basic enemies, some basic AI to move. I'm gonna make the player, because it's gonna work more like a shooter controls, where the player is going to be facing forward. So when you're running around, you're backstepping rather than turning around and running toward the camera. So getting aiming, basically, getting the player to shoot projectiles. And we'll go from there. So I'll keep you guys updated. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Hey everyone, I'm back. So I was fumbling around with this, and it took me a little while, a lot longer than I wanted it to figure out why this wasn't working. So it's actually the issue is within the projectile, underneath the actual sphere, my damage component. It has to be set down here on the right. It'll be set to overlap only pawns. It's got to only take pawns, so it's only right. Before it was overlapping all dynamic, and because of that, it was waiting for a destroy command that was never coming. I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure why, but those were the errors I was getting when I was looking at the error list. So now, actually, so I've changed. I changed a little bit here. I took this out because I added a boolean here. I was checking a bunch of stuff, so now I don't need this boolean. I'm going to put these timers back here, actually, now that I've got you with me, just to make sure I know what I'm talking about for sure. But I'm certain that that was the issue. So hopefully this will work flawlessly and I won't look like a fool. Okay, and I slowed the character's movement down for this. And yeah, so okay, yeah, it's just constantly following you, and it's shooting properly. So, when you're under a tower, you instantly get hit regardless. And this, you can obviously avoid this. So in the next video, we're going to give that projectile homing and speed, and like a little more speed. That way, like, it will 100% hit you, and it also has the timer fail safe, so that just in case it misses you, it will dissipate. But okay, so that was it. We have the first video done and a success. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.